What are you to do when the world is being invaded, but not by interstellar beings? The mole people. Well, kind of. But what do we do now? How are we supposed to vanquish these evil mole people of sorts? Well, you get into a dollar store Big Daddy suit and kick some ass. To be honest, figuring out what game to talk about was a bit of a challenge. I wanted to find something that can be familiar in terms of gameplay and new to me at the same time. The core game for the Wii is that game. It begins with a giant drill making its way up to the surface of the earth. It's owned and operated by the three evil Crank brothers, who seem not so sure of what's up from down. So, they have Dr. Samuelson, their prisoner, tell them which way to go. But who will save this zany, innocent doctor? Well, there'll be three. The first one is Pixie. We meet her climbing up a building, being a daredevil of sorts with no police or choppers trying to get her down. But that doesn't seem to be the problem, because then she slips, and then she dies. Haha, just kidding. She actually ends up being at the Crank Brothers drill in a kind of special room where she finds Dr. Samuelson's power suit. It's a suit that adapts to your best abilities. The next protagonist you meet is Mad Boy, who's looking for his dog Rex inside of this giant beast. When Mad Boy joins, the suit now becomes a walking death trap with giant fists. And eventually you meet Rex, Mad Boy's dog. Along the way, you meet members of a resistance movement that help you through most levels in your quest to defeat the Crank Brothers. They believe that you're some sort of chosen one. They also sing. There are a lot of musical numbers in this game, I must say.
We are the underground sisters. We fight for freedom. You fight, we us all over and around.
You switch between Pixie, Mad Boy, and Rex constantly. Pixie is used for climbing, jumping, she has a double jump ability, and also for ballerina dancing across pits. Mad Boy is the typical melee fighter. He has giant fists, and all he does is spin around and give people a good old pounding. Unfortunately, Mad Max's fighting is kind of slow and very clunky. The spin ability doesn't work that often, so hordes become a very big pain. And Rex has a stun ability that only stuns enemies, so the only person that can actually do damage is Mad Boy, which is kind of annoying, especially during boss fights. Constantly switching out for boss fights is very nerve-wracking. I think it's a poorly implemented feature. But back to Rex, besides just stunning enemies, he also unlocks safes, and he also can gather intel from distant enemies. Well, only certain kinds of distant enemies. You use the Wiimote mostly for the melee attacks, and you wiggle it around to try and do spin attacks as well. Jumping is okay, but the only character that has decent jumping abilities is Pixie, so constantly changing out, like I said before, is a hassle. The camera is kind of iffy. You do get control of it. There are two ways to control it. One with the nunchuck when you're holding down B, and with the D-pad on the Wiimote. I try to use the Wiimote as much as possible, but even that gets fidgety every once in a while. Not terrible, but not a great camera system. The levels are pretty short and sweet, which I frankly enjoy, but the levels usually start getting very repetitive. Beat up some enemies, talk to the resistance people, get the keys to unlock the gates, and then every so often then you find a boss. The boss fights, they're okay. Like I said, they're just tedious, and I frankly start to look less forward to them over the time I've been playing this game. The character voices are pretty okay. Mad Boy sounds like a very typical animated, come on guys, let's go beat him up. Pixie sounds very tough, and Rex sounds like a dog. The music, I must say, is very memorable, kind of giving me some like Banjo-Kazooie kind of vibes almost. The look of the game kind of more reminds me of like a Tim Burton film, kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas, Corpse Bride, that kind of stuff. It was kind of freaky, didn't know if it was totally gonna fit in with everything, but it was fine. Something I do have to say though is that this game is a collectathon. There's no real point in the collectathon though, since all you have to do is collect these blue orb things floating around. You can use your Wiimote like in Mario Galaxy where you hover it over the blue orbs and then they'll come right to you. But you have to be within a certain distance for this one, unlike Super Mario Galaxy. There are so many musical numbers that it gets kind of annoying after a while. I thought they were going to be funny, but then I rewatched all the footage. I'm like, these aren't funny. These were just annoying after a while. Probably the most memorable thing of this game is probably the music. The artwork is okay. I like the Tim Burton kind of look. I wasn't used to it at first, but then I started enjoying it. It was different. It's a very simple, mediocre game. I kind of got the vibe of that when I was looking up research for this game before I even bought it. But this game is kind of just okay. It's not that bad, but it's very repetitive in terms of how the levels are done. But what isn't? It's a 3D platformer. It's a 3D brawler platformer. So I have to give this game my rating of 6 out of 10. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this video review and I'm glad to be back. If you didn't watch the update video, I will have a link in this video. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe. All of that nonsense. Like this game. All nonsense. Well guys, this is Caretaker Gamer signing off. See you later everyone.